Hello, I'm drinking Rapture. This is Alchemist Galaxy and Citra IPA. 7% alcohol. Says a lot of the same stuff here as on the Focal Banger label. Focal Banger is Citra Mosaic, so it's kind of like they might just sort of swap out the um, Mosaic for Galaxy. And I've only got cans of this once before, about 5 years ago. I doubt it's exactly the same base as Focal Banger because Alchemist doesn't really do that. They are constantly switching things up, even with one beer, Focal Banger or Heady. They're always trying to make it better or make it more consistent by switching up ingredients because hops change. So I didn't watch my review video from 5 years ago. I remember thinking this is pretty bitter. And I bet it's hazier now. But all of Alchemist beers are pretty bitter. Except I did have a Skadoosh when I was at the brewery, a can of Skadoosh. That's their ever-changing IPA. And that was probably the least bitter Alchemist ever had. So it's got... Oh, it's not that hazy. You can see my finger through it. Not on camera as much. Head looks pretty good. It's got a little bit of color to it. I guess it looks a lot like Focal Banger. Says... Our favorite British malts. Same thing as on Focal Banger, but apparently Focal Banger does use Pilsner malt, which is not a British malt. Bubbles are not popping too fast, so there we go. That smells good. The Galaxy really kind of... I mean, it does have that classic Alchemist yeast thing that's sort of like dried apricot or something. It's not super far off from Sierra Nevada type yeast or Chico yeast, honestly. I think it's somewhere between sort of a clean American ale yeast and a British yeast. It's not as fruity as some hazy IPA British yeasts people are using these days. Head's still sticking around well. And the Galaxy just gives it a little bit of sort of unripe pineapple. There's a little bit of menthol-y green stuff in there. But it's mostly sort of grapefruit, passion fruit. This combination of bitter citrus and tropical. It smells good. Nice silky mouthfeel. Pretty full, despite not being super murky and hazy. And there's a bitterness. Galaxy always seems to have a higher perceived bitterness, at least to me. Maybe it's the extra green qualities, and it's just like it's the most in-your-face hop. I feel like just of them all. And I don't think the Alchemist uses Galaxy in many of their beers except for this one. I don't know. It's like... It just makes it a bit much for me, maybe. It's very good. Really well-made beer. If you like Galaxy a lot, go for it. But like Alchemist beers are already super potent, kind of high in the perceived bitterness. So like, then putting Galaxy into them, it's just a bit much for me. I mean, I'll probably my palate will probably get used to it, but... That is a salto flavor. Whew. But in a different way than some murky double dry hopped IPAs that are like chalky and have hop burn and burn your throat. This is not that. It's just so many hop oils and higher bitterness. Like a traditional boiled hop bitterness. They definitely boil hops in this. They don't save all the hops for the end, like so many brewers basically do these days. I like the flavors. It's quite floral and rosy, I think, on the finish. It's not. Yeah, it's still got some sweetness to it, but it doesn't carry that a tropical fruitiness very much as you drink it. There's a little bit of a sort of a berry note, a little bit of a stone fruit, kind of more dried stone fruit like apricot, and then some dank and some menthol-y stuff. Spicy, it's complex. Mouth feels super nice though. Though it is bitter, it's soft. The feel is kind of a little bit pillowy. There isn't this harsh carbonation bite to it. It's not like unpleasant in the feel. It's not bubbly. It is drying out my tongue now, but that's mainly from the hop oil saturation. And they give you no tasting notes really. Just, I hate their blurb on here saying, drink it from the can. We're trying to retain all those aromas, and it's like, if you're drinking out of the can like this, I can't smell anything. I just smell like the aluminum. And the can seems like it's kind of dirty. It's a little sticky or something. The can smells bad. This can smells like gears or something. It smells like brewery equipment. But if you drink out of a glass, while I'm drinking, before I drink, you can get your nose deep in there, and I can really smell it, and smell it while I'm drinking it. And you can really get the character, get the aroma and the flavor way better. I do think that sometimes, I don't know, this can's like dirty, so it's totally messing up the aroma if I smell it. But sometimes it seems like you can get, if you stick your nose like almost in the can hole, you can get a different or a more intense aroma, because it's like all the aroma in there is bursting out this tiny little opening, as opposed to here where it's coming out more. It's like it's not as concentrated, but this can smells bad because it got, I don't know, got some residue on it or something. So yes, I totally disagree with the little blurb here about drinking from the can to preserve your own. That's my little spiel. I agree with lots of other stuff that John Kimmich says. I still don't know how to say his name. Is it John Kimmich? Is it Kimmich? I've heard both. I gotta hear him say it. But this beer is good. I'd say it's definitely worth a try. Very well made, but in a way, I had the 20th anniversary Heady Topper yesterday, and that was 10%, and that was even more. That was more drinkable. This one's it's so in your face, and it's actually canned on the same day as that beer. This is canned on November 20th. It's now the December 4th, so it's exactly 2 weeks in the can. But yeah, if you like really dank, intense, yeah, it's just like Galaxy hop. It's as if I chewed on a hop pellet almost. It's very green. Dank herbal quality is just lingering on my palate and it's not going to go away. And it's a bit much for me. Still a really good beer, but I wouldn't give it quite a 4.5, maybe 4.3. Yeah, super dank. One of the more dank herbal bitter beers from the Alchemist. Bye.